All right, guys, I have returned for a quick live stream just after the last round of the Super Motocross Championship, or Super Duper as Cooksey calls it, just concluded. And holy smokes, I am reeling from that night of racing. But wow. You know, at first, just when you thought all the heartbreaks couldn't come, were coming like gangbusters, what happened with Hunter Lawrence in practice was a major heartbreak for Team Honda. And they were not going to win the 250 class, but it boiled down to the start in the 250 class. I'm going to start with that first. But one hell of a night of racing. And like I said, I'm starting with the 250 class. And check this out here. There you go. Your champ in the 250 class, HAIDEN DEEGAN. Now, how many people thought that Deegan was going to win that title? Because I'll be honest, I was leaning more towards Jo Shimoda because Joe's been around a lot longer. But really, the way the track was designed, that start played as much as 90% of the race. And the 250 class was certainly one to watch for sure. And we had two different winners. Obviously, when the first round, I thought HAIDEN DEEGAN was going to come in and maybe battle with Shimoda, but it just didn't really work out. In fact, I think Deegan kind of let the pressure get to him a little bit, and he rode a little tight in the first one, but he loosened up, and that second moto went much, much better for him. But the guy that I think has to feel like as $1 million is just as much $1 million as HAIDEN DEEGAN has got to be Levi Kitchen, because you know, you look at how Kitchen's season went, and it was kind of up and down. But with Levi going to Pro Circuit Kawasaki next year, maybe that'll be a better fit for him. But I actually was pretty surprised that Levi Kitchen led the whole way, and he actually took the lead right away from HAIDEN DEEGAN, whom I thought was actually just sorting himself out, more or less, at least on the first lap anyway. Don't see anyone on here, but that's all right. I'm just giving my 2 cents. But you know, with Joe coming up, with Jo Shimoda kind of charging a little bit, unfortunately, that track was a little hard to pass on. And by the way, shout out to Hunter Lawrence. Hopefully he's healing up. I'm sure he'll be ready to go for 24 Supercross. He's going to the 450 class. But really, that's not a way you want to end your 250 career. And so is Justin Cooper. I mean, I kind of thought that Jay Coop would have done a bit better. Of course, he got third in the second moto, which is a good one. But I don't know if I would have picked Jay Coop for the 250 SMX champion. But whatever. I mean, still, I thought Jay Coop had a decent end to his 250 career. I just hope that he can do the same thing on the 450. But I know you've heard me say it before, but that guy had Jimmy Button written all over him. And but anyway, as far as HAIDEN DEEGAN goes, Cooksey was talking about that he kind of hoped that, you know, that HAIDEN would ghost ride his Yamaha, just like Brian Deegan did at the 97 LA Supercross #2. It didn't happen, but you know what? Whatever. I mean, if he'd have done that, I would have laughed for sure. But then again, it is your first title, so you got to give him a break. I mean, I kind of thought that Deegan kind of could have rode a bit better, but the big disappointment of the night had to go to Jordan Smith. I mean that guy completely blew my mind by winning the first moto, but then he got caught up on the start along with Tom Vial in the start of Moto 2, and that ruined his night pretty much. But I don't know what Jordan Smith is eating, what he's drinking, but something is not working with him. And I have no earthly idea what it could be. And but hey, congrats to Haiden Deegan. I kind of thought that he might win a title. I didn't think he was going to win one this year, but hey, you never know. I mean, that guy's fast. He's and he doesn't let any naysayers get to him. That was proved tonight. And I've been kind of thinking that had he not had that run of bad luck towards the end of the 250 motocross championship, he could have stole that title away from Hunter Lawrence. But hey, he's $500,000 richer. Props to Haiden. I'm already looking at him as a titleist in the 250 class in 24 already, whatever division he rides. Especially with Hunter Lawrence leaving the 250 class and preparing for a 450 career. But I still stand by what I say when I said that earlier that Hunter Lawrence should ride a 250 next year, go win a West Coast title like Jett did, and then go to the 450 in motocross. But whatever. I mean, then again, Jo Shimoda's going to Honda next year. Props to Joe for giving Pro Circuit a run for their time, for giving Pro Circuit a chance at a title. It didn't work out, but I think when Joe looks back on this, he knows he gave it all away on the start. Okay, now the 450 class. This guy's the champ, as you can see right here. Jett Lawrence, he shocked me too, because after the race of Charlotte, I actually had a couple of doubts about Jett Lawrence. But he knows how to prove me wrong, And the fact that he was making a quad out of the first section before the first triple completely blew my mind. I mean, I didn't think they were going to quad up onto that tabletop. But also props to Ken Roxon for keeping him in check. And I said this last time, but I don't think that Jett Lawrence had proven that he had Ken Roxon covered, especially if he got the start over him. But Roxon has proven that he can run Jett Lawrence's pace. Chase Sexton as well. And I'll get to Chase Sexton in a little bit. But honestly, after that written warning that Jett Lawrence got after Chicago, I was just completely shaking my head in complete disbelief. Why? Because that's got to be the cheapest excuse for any kind of penalty I've ever heard of. You know what I mean? So, but if you're going to issue a written warning, you need to go after someone who did something a lot more serious. Not these little petty kind of penalties or something like that. Even though penalty, written warning, theoretically, in my mind, it's the same thing. But it was a great night of racing. But I'm sure that the guy that has to be really hurting the most is Justin Barcia. And I'll tell you what, the way that his the way that his bike just kind of dipped like that kind of made me think back to Chad Reed at Dallas 2012 when he was chasing down Ryan Villapoto, and that crash ended Reed's season. And I hope that Barsha's okay. I hope that Ferrandis is okay too. But for Barsha, that might have been a career ender right there, because those kinds of crashes, especially when the front end dips like that. And Ricky might have hit it on the head with that he was in the wrong gear, that Barsha was in the wrong gear. But still, the fact that Barsha did a similar Chad Reed kind of crash, I don't know if anybody's going to hear. I don't know if Barsha's ever going to hear the last of that. If they ever get the idea from me. But anyway, the guy that I really feel the most for is Chase Sexton, because he got out front. He wasn't going to win the title unless something happened to Jett Lawrence, which almost never does. And the fact that Jett was able to get lucky there with Chase Sexton crashing coming down the Paris after they came down the peristyle. I'm still scratching my head as to how that happened. I mean, unless he might have hit the rear brake a little too hard and caused the front end to dip like that. Oh man, that just made my heart sink for sure. But Chase Sexton, I cannot put my finger on why that guy just cannot keep it upright. You know what I mean? So obviously Chase, I don't know if somebody's telling him to back it down or just telling him, hey, don't get second, or don't get first, I should say. I was kind of saying that after Plessinger threw it away at Indianapolis, I believe, earlier this year. But I still can't put my finger on why Sexton crashes so much. It could be the fact that I think Stewart might have speculated that Chase rides on the front end too much. But then again, I think James Stewart was known for that too when he was racing, always on the front end. But really, I hope Chase is okay. And it was good. And it was a good note on Jett Lawrence to kind of wish Chase Sexton well. But you take out what happened to Eli Tomac at Denver when he hurt his Achilles. That's the kind of things that's been haunting Jett Lawrence all year long. I mean, I cannot put my finger on it, like I said, but I don't know. Somebody's got to tell Chase to maybe ride on the rear end so much, to ride on the rear end and not be too completely dependent on the front. Of course, this is all speculation, but I hope Chase is okay. It wasn't a $1 million ride, that's for sure. But taking any kind of momentum to KTM is always good. And, I'm still in complete disbelief, about Sexton and about Jett Lawrence kind of proving all the naysayers wrong, that he was clearly ready for the 450. I mean, I thought for sure that Jett was going to have a learning curve. I don't know about a steep learning curve, but I thought he would have a learning curve, period. And that hasn't been the case. I mean, you look at him, he won the West title. He wrapped it up early. He sweeps the 450 class in the motocross, and now he wins the Super Duper series. That's the kind of year that That's the kind of year you can never ask for so much of. So anyway, congrats to Jett Lawrence. I have to say though, I'm already kind of picking him for the champion because I'm not sure how Eli Tomac is going to be for Anaheim 124. Of course, the word is he is Supercross only. So I don't know what you guys think, but I guess we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm already thinking that Jett's going to win Supercross next year. But who knows? We could have another version of McGrath when he was dominating for Honda. And but then again, Jett has been proven human before when he crashed at High Point and Ken Roczen has been proving that he can run Jett's pace. But you know what? I still stand by what I say earlier, that if Eli Tomac hadn't gotten hurt, Jett Lawrence would have had his lunch handed to him repeatedly. So anyway, that's all for racing in 2023, pretty much. We just got the donations to worry about at Ernée France. And good luck to Aaron Plessinger, RJ Hampshire, and Christian Craig. I sure hope that Craig can do something because he's the only question mark in my book. Especially since he hasn't raced much this year. And but you put Craig on the 250, I might say that, well, I think we got a chance, but I think our chances are better. But at the same time, I also think that our chances are pretty good. Do I think we can win? Certainly. Do I think we can win the donation? Certainly. We're gonna have to have a little luck on our side. But everybody's gonna have to nail their starts. And certainly hope I certainly hope that we can bring home the gold again. But you know what? Unlike the past years, if Team USA doesn't win, I may not be too upset. You know why? Because when you look at when we won it last year, it had been over 10 years since Team USA brought home the bacon. And considering that we won it last year, I think the loss is not going to sting as much as before. You see what I'm getting at here? So we're going to have to hope for some luck. At least Team USA will. So anyway, racing 2023 is pretty much done. So Jett Lawrence, Hayden Deegan, they're the champs. Sure hope that Barsha and Ferrandis and Sexton are healing up as well. So so right now we wait until 2024 begins. So anyway, guys, I'm going to bounce out of here and I'll see you all soon. So we'll see you for 2024.